Welcome back. You're still with After the Bell on CNBC TV 18. Now, Yes Bank shares rallied in trade today after Bloomberg reported that they have learned from sources that the centre has approved SBI-led consortium plan to buy stake in the troubled private bank. State Bank, in its response, has said that they would abide by the timelines in disclosing the developments to the stock exchanges, if any. Yes Bank tells exchanges that it has not received any such communication and is unaware of any such decision. Lata Venkatesh is here with the details. Lata, no denial coming in from the State Bank of India. If at all this plan is in action, what could the possibilities be on how much equity they would buy and what it means for Yes Bank?
Bloomberg story that set the stock roaring is that government is said to have approved SBI's plan to buy a stake in Yes Bank and to lead a consortium of banks. Now, I'll tell you what CNBC TV 18 had reported, and this was like kind of 90% of the story. The story we had reported is that Yes Bank has got two consortiums of foreign investors willing to put in money. The one that seemed to be nose ahead was the one led by Tilden, which they had announced to the exchange actually. Tilden, Cerberus, JC Flowers, and a few others together, bringing about 20,000 crores. Now, we had confirmation from several banking sources that Yes Bank or the investment bankers had approached a string of domestic institutions, SBI, LIC, HDFC, Axis, etc., to pick up small stakes in the bank. And Yes Bank sources told us that was just to shore up confidence, but the foreign money was coming in. Now, it is difficult to entirely know what the final plan is. Probably the permission was sought because some of the entities in this large group of foreigners may not be willing to take a 10-year lock-in. For some reason, Yes Bank could have fallen short of the amount of money it was looking. Maybe that's why it wanted the domestic institutions, or maybe it wanted them only for support. But the domestic institutions, especially institutions like SBI and LIC, sources close to them told us that they would go and make a purchase. For instance, SBI, sources close to SBI said they would agree to this plan because it was not too much to put in 1,000 crores or something in Yes Bank, but they would do that only if the shareholder, that is the government, allowed them. Bloomberg's story is that permission has come, but it would be a very small stake, well within 10%. The law allows a bank to have a financial investment only up to 9.9 in another bank. If you have a banking license, you can't take more than 9.9 in another institution. So maximum they can go is 9.9. Also, it is designed as a preferential cum rights offer. That we learned from investment banking sources. So first, a small amount of money will be put in as preferential offer at the semi-formula price. Thereafter, a rights issue can be priced at a very low price. So the average price for the investors, including SBI, could turn out to be much less.
Okay, Lata, thanks for joining in and explaining that story to us. So if it happens, of course, one of the largest transactions in the banking space. Now, moving on, the government has asked telecom companies to pay their outstanding adjusted gross revenue related dues immediately, that is the AGR dues. We learned that the telecom department has sent notices to Bharti Airtel, Vodafone Idea and Tata Teleservices after significant differences surfaced in the AGR dues assessed by the companies and that calculated by the government. Now, what our sources are saying is that Vodafone Idea and Bharti Airtel have received those notices as well as Tata Teleservices, which is, of course, now been sold. So Tata Sons is essentially handling this conversation. They are at this point in time studying what their reply should be. What we learn is that the Department of Telecom has asked companies to make the full payment of AGR dues and that the part AGR dues that have been paid will not be considered as a compliance to Supreme Court order. So they have said that the dues that they had sought and not the self-assessed needs to be paid immediately. In addition to that, they say that only TTSL's document has come in. So they have asked Airtel and Vodafone Idea to send a detailed proof of the documents that prove their self-assessment that they have come up with. As we said, telecom companies are right now studying the order and are going to respond possibly by today night, and they will be furnishing the self-assessment documents this week. As I said, TTSL has submitted, Bharti Airtel and Vodafone Idea is left, and that what their assessment at this point in is that the full payment should be based on the self-assessment and not what the Department of Telecom is quoting. So they're open to going to court and showing those documents. Just very quickly before we wrap, let's take a look at what that assessment is. The dues that Bharti Airtel owes is about 59,000 odd crore rupees, 39,000 odd crore rupees. They have paid 18,000 crore rupees. Their assessment assessment is that 18,000 crore rupees is in fact what the AGR dues is. Vodafone Idea dues is about 56,000 crore rupees. They have paid 3,500 crore rupees so far, and their assessment is that 24,000 crore rupees is how much the AGR should be. Tata Group has paid 4,197 crore rupees, and their assessment is that 2,197 crore, that was their first installment, is actually what the self-assessment has shown. Their dues, according to the DOT, stand at about 14,000 crore rupees. So that conversation is important. How they respond, how DOT takes in is going to be important. And remember, 17th of March is that critical hearing, so we should have some more clarity on that story in the days to come. A quick look at some of the other headlines as well. Salaried employees will get lower returns on their Provident Fund deposits this year. The Employee Provident Fund has cut interest rate by 15 basis points to 8.5%. The move will impact 6 crore salaried employees.
पर सारी व्यवस्थाओं को ध्यान में रखकर वैसे पैसे की कमी नहीं है, पर 8.5 हम लोगों ने इस बार तय किया है, जिससे कि भविष्य में ऐसा कोई समस्या हमारे सामने ना आए.
GST collections for February could remain subdued. Sources say the tax field formations have informed the Revenue Department of a big fall, citing economic slowdown and the impact of the coronavirus. Price of petrol, diesel and alcohol is set to go up in Karnataka after the state budget hiked taxes. Nearly 9,000 crore rupees has been granted for Bengaluru, which includes 500 crore rupees for suburban train project. All right, we'll take a very short note on that note, but we'll, of course, come back with the key story of the day. Bombay High Court dismisses Chanda Kochhar's petition against dismissal as the CEO of ICICI Bank. More on that when we come back.